Hey, everybody, I've got a special treat for you today. This is Rich Hanlin with Mortgage Ballers, and I've got Mr. Michael Radcliffe. You might know the name. He's also in charge and the inventor of RAD CRM, one of the top CRMs that our company uses. And I know a lot of other people are starting to use it as it interacts with UWM and Arrive and a lot of these other platforms. One of the most incredible things I've ever seen, but we're going to do a follow-up interview specifically to that as it deserves its own time. But today's interview is what we call the best of the best series. Michael Radcliffe, out of 400 licensed loan originators in 2023 for Xpert Home Lending, ended up number one. This is our number one loan originator. And today we wanted to bring something to the community. How does somebody become number one in the middle of a tough market? What's his day look like? What kind of practices does he have? And then I just want to turn it over to him, and we're just going to have an off-the-cuff talk and get real. So, Michael, thank you so much for your time today. Top originators don't have a lot of time, but I know you burn 2 candles with everything you do. Yeah. But thanks for your time today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on, man. I'm excited.
Well, talk to us, man. You're a 2023 top originator for Xpert Home Lending out of 400. Where did you come from? I can't remember. You weren't with me the whole time, but then you came over.
Yeah. Well, I started technically got my NMLS in 2012, and I came over to Xpert down the road December of 21. So I was retail up until then. Fed into the brainwashing of brokers are bad and brokers are this, no support. And now I argue I have more support than ever. Fastest process, the best. It's like, I wish I'd done this 5 years ago, but everyone learns in different ways. But yeah, that's where I came from. And here in Arizona, I've been here my whole life. And
that's right. You're out of Arizona there. Mm-hmm. Hey, how many states are you licensed in?
Technically just one.
Okay. I know you use our referral program a lot because you do get business. You got people moving all around. How's that worked for you to be able to not have to give up business? Because you're one of those people that do use it. Obviously, if you start doing crazy business, I'm sure you get licensed. But that referral program, I think, has worked for you a couple of times as well.
100%. Done loans in Washington, California, Massachusetts, some odd places. Not that anyone in Massachusetts is odd, but it's just different for me, right? Across the country.
Sure.
But no, dude, it's fantastic. Other places I was at retail, I either just straight up lose the deal or maybe get 10 bips and have no control of the file. So yeah, it's a 9-day difference. It's been a huge help for me.
No, that was good. It was designed. Basically what we're talking about is Xpert Home Lending is licensed in 44 states. But what we wanted to do is we have loan officers have incredible rapport with realtors. And all of a sudden a past client says, hey, I'm leaving Arizona, going to Texas. It used to be you just have to pass that off to some licensed person somewhere else and say goodbye. Xpert has a referral platform because we have a lot of licensed originators that they can work direct and do some different things. That's what we're referring to. But in this economy, not to have to give up a single loan is the main thing. And on top of it, I would point out that although you probably were number one, there's probably could be some loans that weren't accounted for there if they were put under the referral program because it might have popped under somebody else's NMLS or something like that. But the same point, I know for a fact that you closed at least 80 loans under Michael Radcliffe, under your NMLS, in the middle of what some people are saying is one of the toughest years they had in 2023. Yeah. Randy Stevens brought you up. And I love this, Michael. She said, and I quote, this is number 2 for Xpert Home Lending. She said, I've been talking to Michael. I've been trying to figure out a CRM. I've been trying, and I'm thinking, whoa, why are you talking to Michael? And she says, because I was number 2 and he was number 1. There's obviously more that I can learn, and it's up to me to do that. Hey, take us through what's a day in the life of Michael Radcliffe?
First off, Brandy is phenomenal, and I have the utmost respect for that question that she approached me with. And that's what you have to do, just for the record. It doesn't matter if you're 0, number 1, or 100th. It doesn't matter. You gotta always be looking up to the person that you can learn from. It doesn't matter if they're also worse. I'll take advice from people who, I don't care if they're last. Everyone has a strategy, so you have to keep that humility about you. I don't walk around saying I was number 1 last year. No one can teach me anything. Dude, I can learn from every single LO in the company. So I think it's really important to have that mentality. So day in the life, man. So I think what comes to my mind, Rich, is passion. The biggest difference with a quote unquote successful LO and an LO that may struggle and never get to what they are looking to achieve, right? Maybe their business is always stagnant. You have to love what you do. You have to love the people you're working with and working for. As cheesy as that sounds, you just have to. It brings natural, organic success. There's been so many times where loan officers have approached me and they're like, Mike, what's your secret sauce? And I tell them, and they're like, for sure. What else are you doing though? And I'm like, no. I just told you what I'm doing. There's no secret sauce. I don't buy leads. I don't go out and do some sneaky trick. Nothing like that. I just really care about the people I work with, and I put myself in their shoes. People feel that. People want to work with the people that you like. If you think about your friends, your family, and those you also associate with business, if you don't like them, you're not really prone to calling them or referring business. If you really like someone, it's the exact opposite. You want to send them business. You're actually looking to send them business if you have that friendship or relationship with them. So for me, it's just that's what comes to mind first, Rich, is like, what's my day like? My focus is always the people that I'm working on. Take it off yourself. And that's how a person, to me, is that's where true happiness is, right? You're not focused on yourself. You're not thinking of what makes you happy. Think of what others need, and that makes you happy. I feel like that blesses you even more, but in turn, it also changes the lives that you're working with and naturally grows your business. As far as like my schedule and routine, I'm obsessed with communication. That is the lifeblood of any business. I don't care if you're a garbage man. In fact, I will tell you an example that you might enjoy. It's pretty funny. A few months ago, true story, my recycle was overflowing. So I put it out, and generally they don't care. They always take it regardless, okay? The lid wasn't like flipped off. Like I had a bunch of stuff in, but even them, the lid's off, they still take it. Well, the guy comes up to take it. We get a knock on our door. No, he didn't even knock. I just got the ring notification. You know, the ring doorbells?
Yep.
And I went out, there's a note on my door. The guy wrote on a note, this is like, I don't know, against code or something crazy. Like we can't take it. He didn't take my recycle. He's like, I can't take it. The lid's closed. So I thought about this. This is a funny example. I thought about this. What if he knocked on my door? Imagine if he knocked on my door. I answer it. Hey, Mike, just FYI, if you want to come out, I want to show you something really quick. Your recycle is this. Let's get this taken care of. Okay, like I'm not going to refer people to a recycle person. I understand that. But that's a dramatic difference of service versus here's a note, screw you, I'm leaving, good luck next week, okay? So that's just the way I think of communication. That's communication. He or she didn't communicate properly to me. And I believe that. Communication is everything. I really feel I can take any relational issue or business issue and always narrow it down to some communication issue every single time. So that's always my focus. When I sit down with realtors, that is what I say pretty much the entire time because that's what they want to hear. I have a funny story from a retirement community. It was a RE/MAX team, about 15 different realtors. This is back in 2019. And I cold called the agents, and the agent wasn't there, but she's like, I'm on vacation. You can call the office if you want. So I called the office. I asked for a meeting. I think it took 4 or 5 calls. I eventually got an appointment, okay? Most LOs stop after 2. I refuse to give up until they say, F you, I'm still going. So I got the appointment. I brought them breakfast. I wrote down on a piece of paper the word communication. I didn't show them this piece of paper. I put it down on the desk. There's about 15 agents. They all looked at me like I was an idiot. Realtors hate LOs for some weird reason. Initially, they always just have this thing against us, right? And I saw their faces and I felt the pressure. And I said, hey, I introduced myself. And I said, I want to ask a question. Can you guys just start to shout out what drives you nuts working with a loan officer or business partner? What's your pet peeve? What's your biggest need? Well, of course, within 2 seconds, they're firing off. Oh my gosh, they don't send me updates. They don't answer my text messages. They don't close on time. All communication, okay? Everything was communication. I then took the paper, flipped over, and showed them the word communication. And I was like, I knew this was going to be discussed. I wanted to hear it from you organically first. And I told them, this problem stops now. When you're working with the business partner and you give me a contract, your job is done. You should not worry about where that deal is going through. You should not worry if you're going to get weekly updates, phone calls, or text messages, or close on time. You should be focusing on the next deal and making as much money as possible. I'm just very transparent. I not to go off a tangent on this, Rich, but like I feel like LOs are so scared to speak the truth. Like we're here to make money, dude. We're here to make money. Let's just be honest, right? So I say that. Fast forward, I gained 3 partners. I lost track of how many deals I closed with them. That meeting made me a grip of money. And it's because 2 things. I consistently called and I communicated what their issue was. And I live by my 3 C's, Rich. Communication, connection, consistency. I would love to trademark that one day. But I truly believe that, man. Communicate, connect with people on a personal level, and do those two things consistently. And if there's some secret sauce, that is my secret sauce.
It's funny that you say that because I have a lot of people that always say, "Hey, Rich, you're starting to get busy now. Who's going to work your deals for you?" And I'm like, I'm still working them, because I over deliver
Mm-hmm.
and I take care of my people and they're used to that. And hey, I'm going to have so and so give you a call. No, Rich, I need you to call me. And I'm like, so it's a curse too, as you try and grow and
Of
maybe
course.
get into double digits and triple digits, as a loan originator. That was something I had to learn how to do, is to when to introduce these extra people in. And I hold a high standard. If you're going to represent me on my transactions, I know what the expectation is, because some of these people have sent me every one of their friends and family members for 20, 30 years. And the expectation is high. And I pride myself in that. Like I said, it's a curse, but also a blessing, because I I was taught right when I came in. I'm very thankful for that. I had a person that said, "No, Rich, I want to see it in writing, do it again, do it again,
Mm-hmm.
do it again." And I knew how to do loans. I started as a processor. I understood loans. So as I started doing real estate, I was having those conversations up front
Mm-hmm.
as a real estate agent,
Mm-hmm.
as we are trying to also help people, do the loan side of it. But I've had that crash course. I've had some things I've failed at many times, but I eventually got my words down, words that work well and words that don't work well, conversations that help
Oh
and
yeah.
conversations that don't. I can listen now to some of the younger loan officers, and I'm like, "Ooh, I wouldn't have said it that way," but hey, I hope that
I
works
hope it
for you.
works. Yeah.
But no, I love it when I come across. You're way better than I ever thought I was as a loan originator. But you know what I'm talking about when you say, once I learned how to wake up and do my day in a certain format,
Mm-hmm.
I am in control of my destiny.
Yep.
Once I learned how to do that, I became unhireable as an employee, because all I do is want to make things better. I'm always trying to solve problems, but I can't work for as an employee for anybody. I need to be an entrepreneur, and that's why real estate and real estate loans helps me. I can make my schedule. If I want 200 loans this year, I know what pace I got to set.
Yeah.
Um, I know what I need to make up. I know this though. I'm consistent in all that I do. Some months I'm thinking, wow, I fell short, but I know that the loans will come because of the consistency that I keep putting in every day. I
Exactly.
always tell people there is no time off. You cursed yourself in the real estate industry, but you
Yep.
also can be very blessed financially. It's funny, Michael. I was thinking about this the other day, and you are perfect for this. We watch all these high end people on TV, like, oh, so and so, one of the best real estate brokers in Los Angeles. I'm thinking, yeah, Michael did more deals than that person. I, right. I'm like, it's just funny.
Yeah.
We have people at Expert Home Lending that do more than these people who have shows on TV and are much better at what they do. I guess we're just not, I don't have that Kardashian look to me, but it's okay. I help the average blue collar workers. Those are my people. That's how I grew up. I love helping people get into houses. There's nothing like it. I don't care how hard a deal is. When they open that door for the first time, like a first time home buyer, my God,
Money, dude.
that makes my day even
Yep.
now. So
Yep.
I love it.
And I chase that. I think that's what you have to think about. Anyone who's listening to this, you got to think about what brings you that joy. Like what motivates you? What's your why? You have to find your why. Why is my family? I have a wife and two kids, and I do anything for them, and that's what pushes me. I can't just sit here and not do anything because it impacts them just as much as it impacts me. And so and I love what you said, Rich. Like we control our destiny, dude. 110%. Like we
Yep.
are in such an incredible position. We're so blessed to be in this industry. People always say right now, it's so hard, it's so slow. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. It is more difficult. Sure. It requires more work, right? It's not slow though. There's LOs that are crushing it right now. There's real estate companies that are going crazy with deals and they're super busy and they're hiring. I just came from a team just before this, my biggest real estate team that I work with, because I was meeting a new hire. So like it's just not slow. You control what you can control, right? So to me, it's like I can generate as much money as I want to. That's my choice. That empowers me. That motivates me. I don't struggle with that self-motivation. I wake up every morning pumped to work. It's like, dude, I am given a silver platter. I can walk out there and just grab it and take it. It's up to me to do it. There's
Right.
no manager that says, here, I'm going to give you a raise. Give yourself a raise, right? Raise the amount of work you're doing, which raises your income. I just think that's so empowering. I could talk about that for an entire episode about that. But I think a lot of LOs are really struggling right now with what their why is and what do I do to keep busy. Sometimes you just got to go out there and embarrass yourself. That's okay. It's okay. Like I've had realtors cuss me out, call me like I'm telling you, they have like, I don't give a crap. Like I'm gonna go on to the next person. And I have a sign on my computer. You do great things by doing the things that scare you. Okay. Like you have to. If you're uncomfortable, that's a good thing, I feel like. Not that you always have to be uncomfortable every hour of the day, but sometimes you have to put yourself in a position that helps you grow and stretches you to the next level. A book that I would suggest everyone to read is called The Big Leap. The picture is, I think it has a fishbowl in the front, and it talks about getting to the next ceiling, getting to the next level, and how life has a very strange way of keeping you in that comfort zone. And when you look back on any breaches of success, breaches of new levels in your life, you can remember some kind of personal struggle, temptation, or roadblock that was in your way that you had to go around or go over. And it wasn't just easy to get there. And it's strange how, like, as you read the book, you're like, you have a lot of these light bulb moments like, man, that is so true. It could be a passing of a family member. It could be your spouse lost their job. If something happened, otherwise, whatever the case may be, I feel like there's always something that's like, dude, you're about to reach this next level. Let's slow you down and bring you back to what we're used to. So I suggest that book. I love that because it really speaks volumes of like, don't let outside factors dictate what you do internally. That is your choice of what you let inside your mind and in your heart. And you have to tune out the negativity, live and breathe positivity, and let that just create success in your own life.
Michael, here's a question for you. Do you process your own deals or do you have somebody who does that for you?
Heck no. They process for me.
Okay. So would you, we have this argument all the time. I do know one loan originator, Johnny Delgadillo, that can do
Johnny.
he can do double digits all day. I've seen him do 30 plus and he processes his own deals. He's one of the few that I've ever seen do that. I can't do that.
No.
But one of the things that I had to get over is I was, I started saying, oh, I don't want to give up that money, but I was stupid in the sense that it's all the money I was giving up by not doing those 2 or 3 extra loans far outweighed. Matter of fact, I got to the point where I was paying my processors more because I wanted higher end processors, but I wanted them to be part of my team. I didn't want someone else to sway them away. But I'm like, just let me go get 2 or 3 more loans. And then, I think the most loans I've ever done in 1 month, and I don't recommend this for anybody. I think I funded 48 deals in 1 month.
Fantastic.
And that's the best I've ever done in my career. And I think it just about cost me my marriage, my sanity, everything. But I learned I needed a processor. I processed every one of those myself. That's when my life changed. Wow. I was begging for processors.
Oh, dude.
Now I won't do it without a processor. I won't even take a loan. If I don't have a processor, I'm not taking the deal because Rich Hanlin in my day of how I worked, you want somebody working on your deals full time. You don't want part-time loan officers, part-time processors. And that's what they get because I've also got to do company stuff. And so I tell them that, no, let me do this. Let me get you to Michael Radcliffe. You're going to get a full experience and you're going to thank me for it. I have people call up and say, oh my God, thank you that you have someone like Brandy, Amanda Raw. Some of these people I could go on. We have some incredible, Catherine Barnett.
I love Kat. Yeah.
I am amazed at the quality of some of these originators. And I'm leaving a lot off there. One day I'm just going to have you all on that same time so people can really know there's faces behind these names. And now I'm going to regress. This ain't about me. It's just, I find a lot of commonality in when we talk. The entrepreneur side of you, this is what I love. You're doing number one breaking, you're our number one loan originator last year, but on top of it, you still have the entrepreneur side building even more for your family. And that's when I start to really go, okay, this guy's on a different level. The fact that most people are they do one loan a month and they act like they have no time left to do anything.
They're structured in their minds.
Self-education, better learning. And then I run into top people and they don't talk that way. They're like, when they're not here, they're doing 100 miles an hour this direction. And that's one consistent thing that I see with you, as with the other top. When you get out of bed in the morning, you seem to have a plan. You're going to get it done because you know what rides on it. And you might do your structure a little different, but the results are there because of the efforts that you do day in and day out. I can't imagine. Are you ever able to relax? Do you ever take a vacation? Can you take a
I
time off?
we went to California. It was April or early May. Yep, spent a
Okay.
weekend there, and I also am a pickleball fanatic. I play every morning, and then of course nighttime here with the kids. And I love this topic, Rich.
Okay.
This is like such an Achilles heel with entrepreneurs. They come over to my, like, if they can my branch or expert or wherever, and they're like, this is so common. I'm gonna process my first few deals just as I get some money. No, like most loan officers don't look at this business as a business, as
Correct.
an investment. They're so afraid. Like, spend the 500 or $1,000 in the processor. It's up to you to create more business. If you use a system, okay, whether it's a new technology or system you're putting in place that is going to help you and save you time, use that time to make more money. Now, if you're going to use a
Absolutely.
processor just to relax, yeah, it's a waste of money. It's worthless. But I have a processor who is God sent, and I can give them a deal and I walk away. Well, guess what? I use that time to prospect, to build, and to grow. That makes me 10 times more money than what I would be saving, right, on say $900 on a process file. So it's a fantastic topic. And I think it's like a disease in our industry. Like, ooh, I gotta do 5 deals or more to get a processor. No, you don't. You have to do 0 to get a processor. Get a processor and allow that to free up your space and get 5, 10, 15 deals a month. I think it's huge.
It took me a while. I fought that.
Me too. It's
I
hard.
was the janitor. I mopped the floors at my first company. I did everything. I learned a lot by doing that. My last two companies became top 10 national companies. And the biggest thing that changed is I took on partners for the first time. I had to give up, and you partner with your weaknesses and you work your strengths. I've had to get into that mentality. And now I've gone on to much further than I thought I ever would. Some people can do this all on their own. And like I said, Johnny Delgadillo is a good example of that, but he's one of the rarities. When I see the top originators at this company and the last company that I had, Answer Home Loans, they were teams. They had a
Right.
team concept and they worked their strengths. And they also, here's the other part, Michael. A lot of people don't know, and this is, I think, the hardest part. It was for me. I had to get a file to a certain level to feel comfortable handing it off.
Yeah.
And that's where my processor and I, once we got that part down of what
Mhm.
Rich does, she knew like clockwork what she was getting from me. I had already investigated all the loans. That was my strength. Michael, here's a question for you. Do you do loans, meaning, do you take whatever walks in your door, or are you very specific in the type of loans that you do?
That has evolved over the years, as well as your processing question. I process many files. I despise it. I can't explain to you how much I hate it. So it has evolved over the years. I used to take everything. When I will tell you, when you're in that, I hate to use the word desperate. But, 2019, I left the credit union that I was at. They fed me hundreds of deals, nothing to be impressed about. I just picked a phone up, but I was turning and burning like crazy, right? When I left my Salesforce back. I had done hundreds of deals there over the years. I brought maybe one deal and a couple of realtors who didn't do much. Started from scratch, really. And I was like, I'll take anything. I don't give a crap if it's this random like bank statement loan, DSCR, or off the chain flip loan. Like, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get a deal, right? As I matured in the business, I am very selective, very, very selective. If it is a land loan, probably won't do it. I will give it to someone else. If I get a cut from it, great. But I do things that I enjoy now. And I guess that's the beauty of when you get to a certain point in your business, you can do the things that you love to do and you don't have to rely on the desperation of any deal possible. So it's a loaded answer to that question, Rich, but it's evolved over the years. It's also taking me time, just like it
Mm-hmm.
was scary to delegate. Very scary to delegate. It's also very scary to walk away from a deal and to make that choice. But
Sure.
I have lately been doing that. There's been a few deals where I just said, I don't do these, but this is a person who can do it. Just my personal.
No, that's good. Brandy's opposite. She'll take anything that walks through her door. I've seen her do deals where she makes no money because her heart is so big to put somebody in the house. But
Right.
I know everybody gets to the same thing. The thing that people don't understand is, why'd you ever give up a deal? Sometimes it's better to give up a deal because that deal will take 10 times the amount of energy that you could have been out prospecting because it's not in your wheelhouse. There are certain deals that I am not good at.
Yeah.
And certain deals I am. I enjoy my investors. Some of them have 25 properties, and yes, the 1003s. Thank God for DSCRs. It's made life a little easier.
Yeah. I know.
Trying to make everything fit Fannie Freddie used to be crazy. But what would you tell? I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, and she had watched Brandy's. And I'm not going to give her name because I don't want her to be embarrassed. But she said, you know what? I'm in California. California's been a little bit tough. As a couple markets. But she said, you know, I'm getting towards the end, and I've been a loan officer my whole life, but I'm getting really nervous. What would you do right now, Rich? And I gave her some ideas. What ideas would you give to somebody right now, this second, that doesn't know where their next loan's going to come from? What is the strategy?
Gosh.
If I blindfolded you, there we go, here we go, and I put you in a blender and no, I'm going kidding. You know where that came from. If I blindfolded you and I dropped you in any state in the United States outside the one you're in, what is Michael Radcliffe's next move from there to get business?
Man, phenomenal question, because there's so many answers to this.
There is.
Let me start by, this is what I do with some of my LOs. If you're familiar with chess, a chess clock is a unique clock to the game where there's two sides to hit, right? One side starts the other person's clock, and then you just click the other one and their time starts. I had a coach. First off, I highly encourage anyone to get a coach. Do not be afraid of the money. And I'll share with you right now what I've spent. I don't care about, I'll be very open book on this. But my coach said, get a chess clock. I bought it before the call ended because I just trusted him, which if you have a coach, you got to kind of blindly trust him. You really need to go all in. And he said, color one side red and color the other side green. Whoever's listening to this, go to Amazon, $20, get a chess clock. And he said, whenever you're doing money-making activity, click that green side. When you're not doing that, when you're not doing things that are bringing business in, like calling agents or having conversations with past clients, right? If you're doing processing, if you're doing VOEs, if you're calling for documents, if it's not money-making activities, hit the red. Without fail, Rich, every single time, 70 to 80% of their time is red that first week.
Yep.
And I was shocked at myself as well. I was like, how can I get to another level? I'm not even working. I'm not even like, and I'm exhausted, right? I'm losing my hair over my job. And I'm not even like prospecting, right? Literally and figuratively. So when you ask that question, Rich, like, what would you do, right? One word, work or prospect. And if you want to get specifics, there's so many things you could do. Pop into open houses, cold call agent. Don't listen to people who are telling you calling doesn't work. Forget them. Don't worry about it. If they're negative, ignore it and move on and focus and trust the process. Call agents. Go to their offices. Just walk in. Be weird. Who cares? I used to walk into offices and have free appraisal coupons up to $500. Hey, I'm Michael Radcliffe with Xpert Home Lending. Are any realtors in the office? I'd love to stop by and hand out some coupons. And I'd love to teach you guys a class. You guys ever hold classes? Okay. I have landed huge realtors by teaching classes. So you got open houses, cold calling, pop into offices, teach classes, sponsor CE classes, hold events, put them on newsletters. There's so many things. Like it's again, another episode of ideas to get realtors, right? So it's hard, Rich, to really say, here's the one thing, but I really just say, you got to go out there and work and do money-making activity, do green activity that brings in business. That's what grows. Classes is something that people don't do. Dude, I have scored whales on classes. I'll tell you this one. 2 years ago. Yeah, I taught a class on the 2-1 buy down and VA loans. Okay.
So you're doing program specific
classes. This one was,
Okay.
I've done all sorts of things, but yes.
All
So
right.
this one, I did it at a title company. Dude, call any title company. They're going to have an office for you. Okay.
Yep.
Or go to the library, whatever. Went to their class. I invited people. Don't be afraid of the attendance. I don't care if there's one person. It's a win if you got a realtor there. I had to think 5 or 6 agents. I had a lot of agents. Okay. I got 5 or 6 there. The McIver team from EXP. Last year alone, I closed 16 deals from a class I taught. That class cost me $50 for lunch. Okay. $50. It's the best investment I've ever made. I don't even know the percentages on that and the ROI. But I really want to stress to you, whoever's listening, like, do the classes, go out there and take action, shake things around. It works. And could I walk you through the process of what I do for this, Rich? Of
Sure,
like
absolutely.
class follow-up. I think it's more important than the class itself. So first off, cold call like crazy. Call 100 agents every day. Get them to that class. Okay. Hustle, be consistent, focus. When you have that class, be insanely prepared and have a lot of energy. Get good night, right? Be healthy, get a good night's rest, and be attractive. Okay. When you finish that class and you're having lunch or whatever it is, converse with them. Ask them questions. Mortgage Marketing Animal says it best in their podcast. Let the realtor crow. Don't talk about yourself. You're interviewing them. I bombard them with questions. What do you do for business? How long you've done it for? Where are you from? What's your obstacles? What are you trying to accomplish? What's your main goals? How's your partners? I can go on. Ask them all these things, right? Celeste and Jeff, that's what I did. Eventually they said, well, one of the things we want to do is kind of hold classes like you are. Awesome. Are you free next Wednesday? Let's have a Zoom. And there it is. Started. Be on time for the meeting. Follow up. If you don't have a class or appointment like I did, follow up 2 or 3 days later. Send them a box of cookies and write a note. Thank you so much for coming to my class. It meant the world to me. Call them that Monday and see how things are going. That's more important than the class itself. Follow through, right? Celeste and Jeff, I had the Zoom call. I asked them what they wanted. I prepared the class. Take it off them, serve them, and help them. So we prepared the class. I drove an hour west to the West Valley in Phoenix to, which, man, it was so far. I don't think I've ever been in the West Valley. I've been to California, but not the west side of Phoenix. And we taught the class. We had about 3 people to the class. You think that was okay, that's embarrassing, right? No, like the point is to beat the realtors. So again, I know I feel like I go off a little bit on these subjects, but I really want to stress to you guys, don't just hold the class and hope they come back. The realtors will not remember you. Just a little tip. They don't remember you. You have to follow up until they give you the business. That is so key in the process.
One of my friends, Matt Gouget, he's really good at bringing in a second speaker when he's speaking to add even more value. Whether it's an appraiser who can talk values, what he's seen, to help educate those realtors. We've had credit repair people in there. If your person, I used to teach my realtors, you're my front line. You're going to hear things before I ever get to hear them. And if you were to hear these kind of words, maybe follow up with this kind of a question, because there's red flag, words that come out very quickly. And it's like, okay, well, you're going to buy it without your spouse. Okay. Is everything okay with that marriage? It's not just a cash out loan, right? It's what are you going to do with the cash? It's oh, really? Going to send your kid to college? What college? Right on. It's personalization, and I get it. Not everybody wants to talk, but I would tell you this: some of my best clients, I feel like I am a counselor, right? That with financial background. My last company was called Answer Home Lending for a reason, because my son came up with that, because he's like, Dad, you're always answering questions. And I got to the point that I said, I had made sure, and here's a big point to this. I made sure, does your family, friends, anybody you interact with know what you do for a living? And can they call you with a question and not feel like you're going to sell them something? They might just have a simple question. They don't want to get sold. They'll turn away. And I made it very clear. You tell me when you want to do a loan. And even if you don't use me, I will answer your questions.
Yeah.
I just want to do what's ever best for you and your family.
Yeah.
And that has served me well.
It's magic. No, it's magic.
Absolutely.
When I'm on the call, these people, like, it doesn't mean to have like you said, man, you don't have to have a 30-minute phone call. Like, if they want to, great. But Truth be told, whether this is right or wrong, I'm being honest here. My pre-approval, the first initial lead call, is usually 5 minutes or less.
I agree.
But I've had, and this isn't to sound arrogant in any way, but I've had multiple leads say, I went with you because I just liked you. I could just tell you're going to do the right thing for me. But you know what, Rich? It's because I was sincere. I really want to help them. I truly do. That's my coach. And if I can go back to coaching for a second.
Yeah, please.
That's what my coaching taught a lot about me. I'm going to tell you what I spent in my business to start out. Okay. Some people jaws drop. But 2019, I left the credit union. Okay. Wife and 2 kids. Wife doesn't work. It's up to me to grow business. As you know, we're commission based. I'm not paying any base salary. So I had to do something. The phone was, I remember sitting there, the phone's silent. And I'm like, freak, man, I got to call people or something. Like, this credit union isn't here anymore to give me leads. So I just started dialing. And I was so embarrassed, Rich. I was so embarrassed. I don't know what to say. But you know what I did? I dialed the number. Well, guess what? If it rings, I'm forced to talk. So just dial the number, guys. Just dial it. It's okay. So I did that, okay? And I got 1 deal the first month and then 1 or 2 deals the next month, okay? And I was like, okay, I need help. I recognize my faults. I'm a good LO, right, structurally, but I need help growing my business. So I called. I dropped $9,000 on the call, okay? People think I'm crazy for that. $9K out of my account, straight to that coach, and trust him. My first 2 weeks, I complained and complained. Got on the phone with the coach. The dude tore me apart. I needed that. He was like, dude, you're just groveling. That's all you're doing. And I'm like, freak, man, you're right. I expected faster results and I shouldn't expect that. Okay. That coach helped me find a realtor that I've worked with for 5 years. I now have used her for my house to buy and 2 homes that I sold. She's a great friend to our family. And I don't know how many deals I've done with her. I've done so many deals with her. I cannot keep track. Okay. Fast forward. I ended that session with coaching. I wanted another coach. This one, what was that? I think it was $750 a month for the first year. And then after that, I did $1,500 a month for about 7 or 8 months. Okay. Again, think of how much that totals up. I understand, guys, it's scary. I 10x my money easily, because I was a slave to what these guys provided me, because I trusted them. These guys were outproducing me. Why would I ever question them? If I want to be a basketball player and have a chance to be in front of Michael Jordan, I'm not going to question a single thing that dude says. Okay.
Right.
Even if it sounds crazy, I'm going to do it.
Good point.
So again, don't be afraid of that investment. Trust those people that give you that advice. If you're being coached, follow through with it and just own it and work your butt off in it. And yeah, just don't let that fear cripple you. It could be a disease.
Well, 2 things I'm going to point out, because we're going to have some controversy over, you used the word Michael Jordan, and I'm going to say, yes, he's the best basketball player ever, period. No. And we can fight about that another time. Second thing is, even though I don't do as many loans anymore, I still invest in every opportunity I can to learn the latest information. I invested $7,000. Check this out. I follow social media all the time, and there's this kid, he's like 23 years old, and he does phenomenal on social media on how to make videos. Mm-hmm. And I reached out to him. I said, I'm old, but I want to do what you do, because I have a bunch of loan officers and I want to bring value to them, but I want to bring it and make it work. So that's kind of how this has started. And he said, wow, you're really old, but really you want to do this? And I'm like, absolutely. For $7,000, I spent the first 2 months of 2024 letting a 23-year-old teach me how to do faceless videos, how to backlink, tier 1 backlink with other things like WordPress to Instagram, to websites, things like that. A lot of people don't understand, they're great at doing content, but yet it never gets seen. You can have the best website, but if no one ever gets there, they won't. And here's something, this falls in line with the RAD CRM, because we're going to talk about that in the next, it deserves its own, but that is backlinked as well to help you arrive higher as people are searching in your local market. Hey, it does me no good for Rich Hanlin to show up in the state of New York when I'm sitting here in Georgia trying to get my next loan. There are things that you can do, but the one thing that's on this conversation I need everybody to understand, there is an action being taken in hopes for a reaction in return. I do not know how to sit there and just hold my hands out and hope my phone rings. it will very
It-
quickly stop
yeah.
ringing.
Yep.
Um,
Very fast.
I asked you that question if I dropped you in the middle, and so you answered it. We all have our methods, but it comes down to that same thing. You're going to immediately find a way to take action. I have bad days too. I have bad weeks. I have
Oh
bad
yeah.
months. There's
Yeah.
months I've been on my credit cards. I've told somebody I've been $48,000 on a credit card. My wife's going,
Mhm.
Rich, are we really doing this? And I'm like, I believe it. It's always come through, and it's come
Elite.
through
Yep.
tenfold.
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't know how to give up. I do fail a lot. The more I fail, the better I get because I learn when I fail. Now, there's people that
Mhm.
they don't learn, and I'm like, that's crazy. But I do learn when I fell, and I go, that didn't work out too good. I'm gonna make a little change and let's try it again.
Yep.
You have to test everything that you do. You don't just keep
Have to.
throwing. But once you find that thing, you said you found trainers and or coaches. Noel Brownell is going to talk about this too. It changed his career. Randy Steven was part of the core
Yeah.
with
I as
seven.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you want someone to yell at you when you're being lazy, they'll do it very well. I'm
Mhm.
amazed when I hear those. Noel Brownell sat in my office. He was one desk down, and I would hear him make his 100 calls a day. Then I would hear his coach get on the phone with him. And yes, the coaches, when someone's being paid, they're going to get very serious with you. They're not there to be your friend, they're there to get you results. And
Correct.
you're absolutely correct in the sense that you took you took it well. Not everybody can handle those kind of coaches, but you did, and it's changed your life because you came
Mhm.
from a credit union where they make the phone ring. When you got to make your own phone ring,
Oh,
you have to be very deliberate with your actions.
yes. And you have to believe. I love that you use the word believe a lot, right? You've got to believe it. You have to believe in yourself because if you doubt, others will doubt you. They'll feel it. You've got to
They
go in
feel it.
that meeting, guys, with, and say it's a real estate meeting with a realtor or a borrower. You got to believe in the best thing in the world. Now, I'm not saying they're being cocky at all, but you have to believe in yourself and be confident in your ability. Because I truly believe, not to get cheesy here, Rich, but I think that every single person has very unique talents and abilities that they were given,
I agree.
and use those. That uniqueness is so attractive. So yes, I just love that you use the word belief a lot, man, because some people don't believe in themselves. That's, you have to first believe in yourself, and then others will believe in you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm hoping, I never know where these conversations are going to go, but when they go in a direction that anybody in this industry could get value out of, I hope that you understood. You should listen to this interview multiple times. It has nothing to do with what I'm saying, but you should hear everything that Michael is saying. He has added probably 10 plus value adds, and I was hoping for one. And we haven't even got on to the next value add because it's going to deserve its own. And I hope you would come back and listen to what Michael invented. It's called RAD CRM, and it's changed many loan officers' lives because it's a CRM built by an originator who figured it out. He uses it, and you got to remember, he built it and he was my number one loan originator. You're going to hear something that not everybody else can say because what are the tools that people use? Well, we're going to start talking about those tools, but not in this interview. I want to make sure I close this one up because this is the best of the best. You are number one expert. Number one, thank you for your time with Xpert. You can
Oh,
go
thank you,
anywhere. You
Rich.
can go anywhere you want, right? But I always appreciate because I learn just as much from you guys that you give back to us. So I just want to say thank you. Um, you are a mortgage baller. You wake up every morning and you make it happen. I love that because that's the whole reason for this channel. And we're actually going to be interviewing some of the best from other companies because I want
Awesome.
a full direction. I know a lot of people in the industry. We're going to have some of the top brokers on here. We're going to see if we can't
Mm-hmm.
get Matt Ishby on here and some of the other lenders on here.
Good.
Um,
Yeah.
we're going to add the best of the best because we want to make sure that people are finding that one
Mm-hmm.
thing that can change their career and make the next set of 5-7 years. These rates will go down. They will go down, but you
Eventually.
cannot just hide until
Yeah.
that happens. You have
Right.
to start taking actions now.
Yeah.
Michael, as we close this up, a lot of people are going to hear this, whether they work with Xpert Home Lending or anywhere else. If they have questions for you, if I put your contact information down in the description, is it okay for them to reach out to you if they have
Yeah.
questions or want to talk to you? Or
Yeah, I love this stuff. And I'm glad you want to say one more thing. Just kind of reemphasize like on that, anyone in this industry who is struggling or doubting yourself, you've got to stop and you have to believe in yourself. I know and truly believe that every loan officer who wants to make it big, they can. You can have incredible success. The beauty of it is it's up to you. So I just challenge anyone who's having that problem, take control, start fresh, and create an unbelievable business. And you've got to believe you can do it, because I've seen so many LOs start from the bottom and work their way to the top, and people doubt themselves, but they persevere, they push the negativity, and they crush it. So yeah, anyone can call me, email, whatever. That's totally cool. I love those conversations. And yeah, I just want to leave with that. Just believe in yourself. You can make it to new heights that you never thought you could do.
And you're in Arizona. Is that Mountain Time or is that
Depends.
Pacific?
We're the only state in the country, I believe, that doesn't do daylight savings
Oh,
time.
okay.
So
All right.
right now we're Pacific, and then in a few months we'll be Mountain.
Okay, perfect.
Oh.
Take them up on it. I don't care who you work for. If you're struggling in this industry, you have to find other people to mentor and or give you, and someone's willing to share that knowledge, because there's a lot of people that aren't. There really is a lot of people that stay to themselves, and that's fine too. Everybody has their own methodology. But if we're trying to help the broker community as a whole to get back to what we need to be, we need to help each other just one loan at a time, one conversation at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And right now is a tough time. Michael, thank you so much. I know that
Yeah, man.
top producers, it takes a lot for you to sit down for an hour and talk with us, but I just want to say thank you very much. I'm looking forward to our next interview to talk RAD CRM. I hope you will follow up and watch this next video. It'll be held on the Mortgage Ballers YouTube channel. You're going to find out about a tool. I have no ownership in it. I want to be very clear, but our people use it. I don't care who you work for. If you're not using a good CRM and understand how a CRM works, you need to watch that video. You will learn exactly what originators want in a CRM, and it's all done for you. How about that one?
Yep.
All right, Michael, I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, man.
And I'll catch up with you on the RAD CRM video.
Thank you, Rich. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.